Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. I'm still figuring this out. I'm trying to get everyone unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Mute.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Okay, we in the party.
Yes.
I love it.
The jam party time. Welcome to Drag Race TV LA and our new channel.
Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. I'm still figuring this out. I'm trying to get everyone unmuted.
I think everybody can. We're good.
Everybody
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Okay, we in the party.
We can
Yes.
I don't.
The jam party
Does someone have the audio on in the background? I
Welcome to
can't.
Drag Race TV LA and our
Mine's
new
muted.
channel.
Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. I'm out. I'm trying to get everyone unmuted.
I think everybody can. We're good.
Everybody
Can you hear me?
I don't know what's happening.
I had it on.
I don't know either.
I don't have anything on in the background. So
It was me. I had it on. My fault.
Damn it, Lorayne.
All right, here we go.
Are
Here
we-
we go. This is why we do live TV. Take two. Action.
Is anybody in the chat room? Are there people there? Are we, can people hear us? All that good stuff?
We're good.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All righty. Welcome to Drag Race LA, our new home for our weekly recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13 Phenomenon. That's where all the sound effects go in that we don't have. I am one of your hosts today, Miss Lorayne Love in the house. I bought this in 2008. I said 1998 before, Jackie, I lied. 2008, when I was in Hawaii, my moo-moo, if you can see it. So it's my first time wearing it, so I'm so excited. I'm never taking it off. I absolutely love walking around my house in this. Joining me today are the fierce, fabulous, and fun cohorts in crime, Miss Jacque Borosski, Ollie Drennan, and Jayla Roxx in the house. Tez is on his way to get coronavirus in Puerto Vallarta.
Wait. Okay, shade button all the way down. Okay,
Thank you guys for joining us. We're here every Sunday at 3 o'clock. You can join us live in the chat room, which I think some of you are. I'm trying to pull that up on my phone as we speak so I can kind of see who's in there as well. Be sure to talk amongst yourself, throw questions out at us. We do try to read it as we're going along, and try to keep it fun and positive and upbeat, no bullying and all that stuff. We want this to be a good place with fun people for a drag race, because we know sometimes it can get a little shady. Cue the shade button.
I just want to point out that Tez is in the chat room, so he definitely heard you shading him.
Hey, good. He should. Absolutely.
yes, honey, I love it.
I know, right? And be sure to stay with us later because we'll have some fun news and gossip. I'll give my quote of the week. I'm sure Jackie has a few fans of the week and all that fun stuff. So stay with us throughout the whole thing if you can. If you're listening to us, we love you. Thank you for listening. If you're watching us, thank God my hour makeup didn't go to waste. Yes, I did. In honor of the mini challenge, I said, you know what? I'm going to give myself an hour. So this is what she did.
I don't think it's that bad for an hour. Stay, honey.
I don't know. I was saying this to Jackie before we went on. I don't know if it was an hour completely to get ready or just an hour for makeup. Hour for makeup was okay. Like I rushed. They're definitely, not how there's things I would have liked to fine tune, but it was like, okay, not for an hour, not too horrible. But if they gave him an hour also to get into their costume, that's tough.
Yeah, with everything that you have to do, padding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess you could kind of go back and forth when you do something instead of waiting for it to dry, going and putting on your first set of hose and then coming back doing another thing. Like I guess you could do that, and not distracted by dogs and phones and stuff like that might make it a little bit easier. But whatever. What are you guys' overall thoughts? Go around the room, talk amongst yourselves. Tell me what you thought of the episode.
I actually liked this episode better than the last one because I like the song better.
Okay.
I do think that it sucks when your song isn't as good. And I think that I think the performance to me last week wasn't as exciting as this one because I thought they had I think it seemed like they had a better tempo to put lyrics to. And it just seemed like an overall more boppy song. So that was my take for this week.
Jayla, Ollie?
I'll let Ollie go first because yeah.
Oh.
Oh man. Well, I really like this episode just because I think everyone overall did like great. Obviously, we knew no one was going to go home. But I also like that even though no one went home and everyone did pretty great for the most part, there's lots of there was some good drama in it. There was like things with Kimora, there was things with Tamisha, kind of like the whole, I know Jackie, you love the rehearsal process, so I really enjoyed the rehearsal process, and I never really liked the rehearsal process, but I just like the fact that there's queens with so many ideas, and they're kind of just they had to work together as a cohesive unit for sure in this episode, and they learned and got on to the whole sisterhood, act by the end of the episode. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good kind of wrapping up of the season premiere, because this is the third episode of the season premiere. So I'm excited finally for next week for sure.
And
I love that we got 3 episodes to get to know the queens though. Usually, even if there's a big cast like this, it's only 2 episodes. So I appreciated that too.
Mm-hmm.
And Jayla, did you appreciate having 3 episodes?
I absolutely love the 3-parter premiere, if you will. But I would say that there's a reason why we were in the pork chop lounge, love. I don't think that it was a very cultivating episode. I mean, episode was great ultimately, but I don't think anyone was star power like we had in the last episode. I think we had a lot of favorites, but no one, for me, I said, oh, they all deserve to be there. But nobody kind of gave me the to really say oh, she should have been in the A group, or she should have been or she deserves to be here.
Yeah.
They just deserve to be here. You know what I mean? Nobody deserves to be here. So that's where I am.
Well, I think I said this before, I feel like the producers showed their hand this season. And I feel like we may be privy to the elimination order by the groups that they have divided them into. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some surprises but along the way, but I'm just going to say that. I'll just leave it at that. Let me just recap everybody who just didn't watch our recap last week, who just wants to remember what happened last week. Previously on RuPaul's Drag Race episode 2, we saw the winning group of 7 queens. Elliott with 2 T's was voted off by the losing queens and brought to the winning team. They performed Congratulations as a group, with Olivia Lux and Simone coming out on top as the winners in the challenge, who had to lip sync for their life. Simone winning, and Candy Muse and Got Milk getting very lucky to not have a.
Not Got Milk.
Yeah.
Got Mick.
Got Mick. Sorry, got Mick. Sorry. I knew I was going to do that too. All right. So now it's a new day. We have the 6 losing queens. We'll call them the pork chopped queens. We won't call them the losing queens.
Yeah.
They come into the workroom and greeted by Ru. And there was discussion of them being the trade of the season. You can let me know if you agree or disagree with Denali's portrayal of that. I know Utica said she would be distracted by all the little nuggets in the room. They felt like there was a fire under them because they were in the bottom. They were also given the same mini challenge, day and night, lady and tramp. And we don't have photos today, but we'll just go, if you guys want to go around and talk about who your tops and bottoms were. And we can also discuss Miss Kimora Hall delaying the runway. if we'd like.
Are we doing just mini challenge looks or
Yeah,
all the
let's
looks?
do the mini challenge looks for now. We'll do the runway looks later, and we'll get into a lot of the nooks and crannies of some of the things that Ollie mentioned with some of the stuff that was brought up. We'll get to that later. So let's just do the mini challenge runway, our tops and bottoms, and what you thought of Kimora and her situation with delaying getting on the runway. Let's start with Ollie.
Oh no. Okay. I don't know. I literally don't know where to start. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. So we're just gonna do like the looks, like the tops, who my favorites were, or
Yeah, of the Lady and Tramp. Lady
Uh,
and Tramp, sorry.
yeah. I think I liked some of the looks, but I just liked the looks from last week way better. I I think overall, like I really liked Denali's looks the most because I think she had the best kind of like day to vamp, whatever. Like they were two totally different silhouettes, two totally different looks. I thought she killed it. I honestly really loved Kimora's Kate Middleton. I almost said Kate Beckinsale. I loved that. That was so simple. It was clean. It was elegant. It was white. It looked great on her. And I also just love Utica's looks. They were quirky. The first one was really quirky with the balls. I loved what Ross said about Lady Bunny wearing that as a toddler or something. And I really liked her vamp look too. Like she gives me like Final Fantasy like 8 realness with some of her looks so far. And I really like just love how she transforms with her drag. So those are the 3 that I really liked. So yeah.
Okay. Jackie?
I'm going to start with just saying this. Some of these I did not see Lady, like several of them. I did not see like Lady and then enough of a difference between the second one. Like, here's the thing. I actually love Utica's Lady outfit, but it didn't read Lady to me. So, and I loved her second look and I loved how they were different. So I'm like torn in this area where I'm like, I'm not sure if you met the challenge, but I still loved the looks and I love that you made a differentiation. I thought Kimora's like Lady look was perfect and what I thought of as like Lady with the tea time kind of thing going on. I was disappointed by Joey J in this challenge because I thought both looks were a vamp look. So the first look red vamp to me and then the second look red vamp, and they kind of had a similar like aesthetic and vibe. So that, I mean, as much as I love Joey J, that was very disappointing to me. I loved Rosé's vamp look. I thought like I love the big like structured dress, the like structured headpiece. I thought that was very like high fashion to me. So I really enjoyed that. And like I said, I liked the difference between Utica's, how she differentiated the looks. Because at least if the first one didn't read too much Lady to me, at least I felt like she made a real effort to be like, okay, this could be a day and a night look, you know, at least that. So that was my take.
Miss Jayla.
I totally agree with everybody. Now, listen, the whole time you two were speaking, I am trying my damnedest to remember what these girls wore. The only one that stuck out to me, I loved Rosé's constructed look. I love that type of stuff. However, I gotta say that after this episode, and I probably may have to change one of my fantasy queens. I don't know if I can do that or not. But after this episode, only thing I could remember was, and this, like, hear me out. I am a Utica stan. Yeah. And that was one queen that I knew I was like a little itchy about. And then I was like, but yeah, I like it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then once Utica starts to come out and do all these things, I'm like, that is the queen that I could absolutely love. Because when they started comparing Utica to Thorgy and all the memorable, I hate to say like clown campy kids or whatever, that means that she's up there with the legends, you know what I mean? Because I love me some Thorgy Thor. So I definitely see young Thorgy and Utica, and I stand. So everything Utica does, you can go out there in a diaper and I will eat you every time. Period.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a diaper with little balls on it.
Right.
I know, little nuggets.
Nuggets. I have a feeling we're going to hear that word a lot, and I use it. I call my pug. I call him my little nugget. I think. Well, I was thinking. It was presented in a couple ways. The theme, because they said Lady Vamp, but they also said day and night, and then there's this thing where do you do Utica during the day, or is it like Kimora did, more realistic day? You know what I mean? So there's different things that kind of, again, we've said this before, Drag Race is kind of like what you want to make it and what your aesthetic is. I thought Utica nailed the challenge because I saw it as them day and night, and I could see Utica going to the grocery store in that during the day. As crazy as it is, that's who Utica is, and that rhymed. But I loved hers the best. I liked Rosé's evening, like you said. I hated the hair for her day. It was just, I get what she was trying to keep it simple because of the outfit, but it just, I don't know, it looked too, and this from me, too grandma in my muumuu. But mine was the choice I made, for this.
I do have to say, honorable mention to Tamisha's Elvira gown for night.
And I love Tamisha's day. I would wear that to Whole Foods in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I don't know what she'd buy, but she'd be wearing Whole Foods. So anybody have any thoughts about the Kimora situation with being late to the runway, and have anything to say in that regard? We'll discuss some of her other stuff later, but in regards to her taking a little longer to get ready than everybody else, anybody?
Well, Lorayne, I was actually hoping you would weigh in on this because, you're a drag queen. So I think it would be nice for you to tell people like how long it normally takes you to get ready.
Thank you. Well, Jayla, you can attest to this too. I don't know, they say on she says, I'm going to do something I've never done before and only take an hour to get ready, I think is what she said. So I'm assuming that meant they literally had an hour to put on a face, put on their padding, put on their costumes, put on their jewelry. And it sounds like putting on jewelry isn't a hard thing, but when you got to glue it on your ears and you got to, you know what I mean? Like, it's more than just like, these are just clipped on because they'll stay because they're little, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want this coming off on the runway. Even if I was on the show, I'd still glue this to my ear because I don't want that shit falling off and them having that to use in their promos for a season and a half. So if it was I did this, I said earlier, if you're just joining, I did my face. And for those of you who are listening, kudos to you to listen today, because I only took an hour to do my face today because I wanted to see if I could do it. And they do ask on the applications how long it takes you to do your makeup and stuff. And, we've heard Queen say before, it's really a race. Like, they really rush you. They really, make you try to, get things done in X amount of time. It was hard. I mean, just doing my makeup in an hour, I did it. And I knew that I could do it. But it's, not where I would want it to be, especially to be on TV, and being critiqued, it was hard. Jayla, do you have anything to add?
I totally understand that, but for the sake of production, for the sake of a professional, a business, a booked queen, like, people, because everybody wants to be booked and busy, but not really know what it takes to be booked and busy.
Yeah.
Now, there may be a time, and the reason why they do that is not to see like, who can get ready the fastest. It's more about who's responsible and who really wants this at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There may be a time where, and this happens to almost every Drag Race girl in universe, is when you're traveling and your makeup doesn't come in time or your bags don't get checked in a certain city and you got to run to CVS and go get drugstore makeup because your makeup didn't come in time to Portland when you live in Atlanta. You know what I mean? So those are the things that and people are still paying to see you. If I paid to see Kimora and she didn't show up till 12 o'clock and I've been there since 10, she's canceled. To me, Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't care about your fans. So it's not about, oh, I need to take this time to look glamorous. It's like, know what works for you, know your face. So that way, when it's time, when you're put in these situations, you can get ready in 20 minutes. Hell, you can get ready on the plane. How many queens have we seen get ready on the plane? You know what I mean? It just shows how bad you really want this. And for me, I don't think she wants this to be America's Next Drag Superstar. She wants to get a double booking. Maybe they'll stop paying her for $150. You know what I mean? And that's generous. So if you want to be a bar star, you can take an hour, get to the club at 8. But if you're going to be on a tour and work the world and you're doing Vegas and stuff like that, we're not paying you to go be pretty. We're paying you for our fans. We're paying you to be a star. And if you don't have that, and if you feel like being a star isn't like working hard or working towards that, then I don't need you here.
Yeah, I think that's all.
I do want to shout out the chat real quick. Novel Cost, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. They said, I was shocked that she only does drag twice a month. She's probably just slow because she needs more practice. So that was a good point. I do remember her saying that. So that has another issue of like why she takes so long. But I totally agree with what you guys are saying. Like there's queens like Alyssa Edwards, you know, who like shows up to gigs super late and like she apparently can get away with that. And it's like, it is really disrespectful to like who booked you and your fans. It's frustrating, you know, like, I mean, I guess in a sense she's paid her dues, but at the same time, you need to be professional. So hopefully it's like a learning lesson for Kimora and other queens that like, you just need, this is a production, like Jayla said, like there's people working on the show that they need to make sure that everyone's accounted for and get the whole schedule on, you know, we need to be out of here by like 5 p.m. Okay. So
yeah, because I mean the networks here, and you guys know, like networks here aren't paying people overtime. Like these people are here and they're on SAG budget at that. So y'all gonna get y'all asses up out of here at 4:30, like I said. You know what I mean? So we don't have time to wait for you because at this end of the day, you're talent. You know what I mean? Like the lighting people and all those people, they've been there since 6 a.m. and we're waiting for you to put on eyelashes. Bye.
VH1 does not want to, VH1 does not want to pay SAG time and a half, Teamsters time and a half, you know, for these people to basically waste their time and make them sit around. So that like, that's another thing. You're not just like, you guys have this great point about, you know, if you're doing a live booking, but it's like, you're also being disrespectful to the people that are working with you on the set if you're taking a long time, because now you have, it's not just even a normal set. It's like, okay, now you have people who have to wear like a shield and a mask for an extra hour or two if you're taking, you know, face shield and all that, if you're taking a longer time. So, and yeah, they get paid for it, but I mean, the network doesn't want to pay for that. And like the people don't want to be there longer than they have to. So the only other thing I'll say is that it's just wild to me because her makeup doesn't seem that intricate to me when you look at some of the other contestants. So I was like, I don't know why it's taking you this long to do X when, like, you know, you had someone like Utica in the last one had all this like really crazy intricate makeup on her face, you know, the same thing with Got Mick, and I'm just thinking, I don't know why it took you an hour to do that, but maybe that's just me.
I think we know from Jayla's facial reaction to that how she felt about that comment.
I tuned out because I'm just like, it's just so disrespectful, you guys. Like people making late a personality. I don't like. I have been like late, but I communicate those things, of course. But you know, certain things happen. Shit happens. You're going to be late at some point. But the excuse of just, oh, I have to look gorgeous. Like I don't like that. Like it's just something about like that. And like maybe we need to have Kimora on the show. Like I'm really like, I don't want to feel like I'm talking shit about these people because I'm happy to call them onto the show, period, whenever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just like, you can't be that damn clueless to just be like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Totally. No, I think, and Ollie, you made a good point because about the amount of time you do drag. And because I remember when I was doing it a lot, I kept getting it done faster and faster because I was in the routine. And now just coming back to starting to do it more often, you know, I really have to go, oh, wait, you know, and I forget to do things because I'm just so out of the loop of what needs to be done. But I think that's a really great points. So, all right, so let's move on to the Maxi challenge. Like last week, the pork chop group, I want to say the losing group, now had to perform their new show-stopping version of Ru's song Phenomenon with their own original verse as a group and come up with their own choreography together. Jackie loves the rehearsal process.
I love a messy rehearsal process. Yeah. Like I love this one because I mean, that's what makes TV fun is when somebody messes up in the rehearsal and then in the end you see something really nice. And so that was like totally this episode for me where like the rehearsal process was so messy. I was like, I don't know how they're going to pull this off. There's like 3 people fighting over like who should be doing choreography. And the final product I absolutely loved. I had a blast watching it. And I, like I said before, it was better for me. I like the song better this week than last week. So that's always nice to see when you see some sort of like really terribly messy rehearsal and then they pull it all together.
Yeah. Yeah. They had, so what Jackie was referring to was Denali, Joey J, and Rose all were like kind of, unlike last week where nobody stepped up to be choreographer, they had 3 people who wanted to be choreographer and wanted to take charge and show what they could do. And then, and even Tamisha later in the episode kind of stepped in and was like, cracked the whip and said, nope, we're gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. So there were a lot of cooks in the kitchen for this one. So Jayla, what'd you think?
Well, Tamisha, like nothing that she does is wrong to me. So I'm an ultimate Tamisha fan. Anything that Tamisha, okay, listen. So I was just telling my friend this back home. I love like old school drag. You know what I mean? So seeing Tamisha's name on the bill, and I'm gonna say this every week, like it's like starstruck. Like if anybody knows any of the Amans, Tamisha is the one to be. Okay, so and people know Tamisha as a choreography queen. She's one like, and when they said they didn't even show her like her pageants. If you go to YouTube, all of her stuff that she's done, the high kicks, the flips, the talent, the dancers, everybody's on their game. And she was the one that helped put that together. So if Tamisha Iman is giving me choreography lessons, I'm going to treat it like Todrick. I'm going to treat it like Jamal Sims. I'm going to treat it like Alyssa, because this is a legend, okay? So Tamisha's a move, period.
Yeah. Ollie?
Wait, what? Sorry, what was the question? What are we talking about?
We're talking about the rehearsal process.
No, I was like, I agree with everything that's been said. I don't really have anything to add.
Okay, that's okay. And so then we had the performance, which Jackie already said she liked a little bit better than last week, but she also liked the song better. So
I think I should clarify. I think that's the only reason I liked the performance better. I just think honestly, like not knowing what the queens themselves actually thought, I do think the queens this week seemed more into the song themselves. And that's not a read on the queens from last week. I just don't find that song as catchy. And I feel like maybe they didn't find it that catchy either. And they did what they could with what they had,
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking too, Jayla, to what you were saying. Now I'm going to throw myself under the bus as I say this, because I didn't know who Tamisha Iman was, but in my defense, I also don't do pageants.
Not proud of it.
I never did the pageant scene, so I get like you've been a part of that world for so long, you completely know who she is and all of her kids and stuff. But I also think, and Chuck brought this up in the chat just now too, which is what I was thinking as you were saying that, Jayla, is it just the fact that nobody has really commented on what a legend she is also shows the youth of the drag now, how long drag has been around, that, and this is something that I say all the time, how many of these girls are doing this to get on TV, and I get it. We all want to be famous. We all want to make money. But if you're not doing it for the right reasons,
Because Because I was heartbroken when I heard Rose said, "Oh, we got some ancient people up in here." But I'm like, bitch, you better respect the people that make sure that your ass get on the show, okay?
Well, they do that every season. And, it is definitely something that I've thought about a lot because I'm almost the same age as Tamisha. So not having done drag as long, but definitely, or as much as she has, but been around doing it for as long as she has. And it's hard because you go in, like they're saying with them being the losing group and the winning group, you're now going to join this group with this thing on your shoulders. Well, now you know what it's like to be the old person that walks in the room, and we're supposed to be looked down upon because we're older, because we're not fresh and new. It's like, look, girl, this wouldn't be here without us. So you can get your attitude all you want, but I'm going to check you, because if it wasn't for me and Tamisha and Virginia West and people that have been around for decades doing this little funny little show where you're making all your money and getting all your gigs wouldn't be happening, So okay, that's my rant. So
Lorayne and I have been doing a rewatch of season 1, and in the first episode of season 1, they talk about, even back then, I mean, we're talking like 13 years ago, they're talking about how Pork Chop has been around and like would get arrested and like had acid thrown in her face, and so you're talking about people who not only have had this like long resume and history of doing this thing, but like faced real danger doing what they did. So that you can be on TV now. Yeah.
And I'm not by any means asking for any kind of sympathy or anything, but I was trying to think, I was like, have I ever been, because I was doing stuff, back then and I was trying to think if there was ever a time where I felt unsafe. I always felt lucky because I always had like roommates and stuff with me. It was always when I was by myself that I was always like, okay, just get to your car, keep your head down, blah, blah, blah. But I do remember one time in Columbus, leaving one of the bars, and I left out the front and I was parked right behind. I wasn't even far. We just went out the door and you walked up the side alley and my car was right there. And I left and I started to go, and there was somebody walking towards me, and I just remembered having this weird vibe, where you just kind of like, this isn't right. And I went, and I fortunately thought quickly, and I went, oh shoot. And I did it out loud, and I quick turned and kind of ran back in, like as almost like I forgot something. And then I went in and grabbed somebody and had them walk back out with me, because I was like, I just didn't feel like I wanted to attempt that in full drag in the alley, So, and I'm not saying that still can't happen today, because that absolutely can still happen today, but it's like, anyway. The challenge, I didn't love the song that much personally. I know, after you guys were all like, I loved it, I was like, oh, I didn't.
I think what it was, maybe if you don't like the song, because I didn't like either of the songs, to be perfectly honest. Like, nothing will ever top I'm That Bitch from last season. Like, that was the best. That was on point. Yeah. But I will say, I think, Jackie, did you already say, I think the choreography, like, they just got the choreography down, and that's why I think it was, to me, better, because no one was off. Like, last week we had Candy, who was just like,
yeah.
So, but everyone was on point, and I think Tamisha really helped up and stepped it up, as you guys were saying. Like, I think one of the best moments in this episode was, I think it was Tamisha who like kind of helped Kimora. Remember, she was like, no, don't do that, do this. Yeah. She was very motherly towards Kimora, and Kimora totally like listened. And I think that was such a learning moment for Kimora, because Kimora is obviously like the younger queen. She's like in her mid-20s or something like that.
Well, she was literally learning how to dance. I mean, literally.
Well, here's the thing about the music. I don't like drag queen rap. Moving on.
Yeah. No, true. I agree. I also didn't like the flags. I don't know whose idea the flags were. It felt like hardcore high school stuff. But anyway, okay, moving on. So
I will say this though, I mean, Rosé said she was a singer. I think that came through in the song, you know, like there was, the group as a whole did well, but I think you can hear from her recording that she is actually a singer. So I was impressed by that. It was a good performance, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I thought it was good. I was trying to think if I liked one more than the other. I don't know that I did. I thought personally watching it, the two that I perked up for were actually Tamisha and Utica. I loved their lyrics. I could understand them. Like when Tamisha, when she came out. Like, it was like, okay, Tamisha's turn. And same with Utica. I felt like, you know, Utica, I don't know what I was expecting, but I loved her wiggle it to the top or whatever she was saying. I love that. I was like, that should be her on her t-shirts completely.
Yeah, absolutely loved her.
Yeah, I just thought those were the two that really stood out to me. But all right, so let's go to the runway. Category is We're Here, We're Shear, Get Used to It. And then our guest judge was Nicole Byer, and then the regular judging panel is Rue with Michelle and Ross.
Okay, well, first off, let me start with Rue. Rue has been looking the fuck good this whole season. It's the new contacts, it's the new facelift, it's the new wig, honey. All of it is like looking really, really good. And I can like Rue has been like really, really, really like smoothing out every season. And now it's I think like did you see that meme? It was like you know, I'm the meme queen about Drag Race. So they have this meme of RuPaul's face like pulled like on a like mattress stretcher, and it says RuPaul's Drag Race season 800, and it's like his face is like thickening, but it's pulled all the way out, and it's just like the time has come.
Oh my God.
Like Raven has been doing an amazing job like with Rue. I love the new eyes, I love the new face. Like it's just Rue, come on, I love it. Absolutely.
Well, you know, it's like you know, back to what Ollie said about doing it more. I think too, the more that Raven does her face and gets to know her and stuff, it kind of, and that's why when I hear queens that have other people still do their makeup, I'm like, no, do it yourself, because then you start to find things that are, you know, good for you and make you stand out and stuff like that. Not that somebody else can't do it, but there's something about having your own hand in it, I think, that really helps.
Wait, are you talking about Rue?
No, in general. In general.
Look, like, we already seen it now.
we're better off with Raven doing Rue's makeup.
Yeah.
I've seen season 1.
Go ahead and log off for me, baby.
All right, so let's.
Oh, I do want to, sorry, before we go through the runway, I just want to say I love Nicole Byer. I think she's hilarious. I feel like she should be in the normal rotation of the judges, because like I thought she brought such like a fun vitality to it, and I really did find her jokes to be like very like fresh and funny. So I wish she was just a more like usual judge on the show instead of once every season.
Well, I do want to say that since I'm going to cross promote for a quick second. Nicole Byer has a podcast called Why Don't You Date Me? And it is hilarious. And she brings all of like our favorite gay icons on. Her best friend, Shear from SNL. She brings everybody on. She talks about, like, she brings Shangela on, and they talk about chuckle fucking. And chuckle fucking is about like Drag Race fans that just want to get in their pants. Like it's really good. It's good like Drag Race content. Like Nicole Byer is a true fan, not because her manager paid her to do it, but like she is a true fan, and she brings the queens on and they talk about a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So if you want to see or listen to Why Don't You Date Me, go check it out.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, she's great.
I have a feeling, I was thinking this too when you said that about her coming back. I don't know, I feel like we will start seeing a lot of return judges, just because we're also in, you know, 13th season. You know, we're going to start, not that we're going to run out of homos, but you know what I mean? Like just people that are good. And I think that people will like Nicole, who's a good judge. Like those are the people that should be brought back. People that have something to say, that contribute well to the show and stuff like that. So,
and she's bringing, like Jayla said, she's bringing Drag Race girls onto her own podcast, right? So like she cares. She cares. And I don't want to see like Like,
Nico Tortorella.
Not Nico. But like, I don't want to see someone who's like a super A-lister that doesn't really care. They're just coming on because of their name. Like, I want to see the Nicole Byers. I want to see the Leslie Jones. Like, I want to see those people that are actually going to be talking about it on Twitter when they're not even
Jennifer
on the
Lewis.
Right. Like, let's have those girls or men, you know, on the show that actually are fans, because like Nicole is the perfect combination, because she literally had something to say about like every queen, if I remember correctly. So, and she's just that good as a host, as a talent. So I definitely want to see more people.
Also, it was the season of COVID, so Nicole Byers down the street. We don't call you an Uber girl. Come on down.
Yeah. And for people who are watching, if you're watching in the live chat now, or if you're listening or watching later, comment who you think is a great judge and who should be brought back, because we would love to know who you guys like. Okay, for runway look.
Oh, Ronnie said he'd love to see Billy Eichner, which I think Billy Eichner would be a good guest. But the problem is I think he lives in New York, so that like for a COVID season, it's probably hard to get him to get on a plane. But
now, I've seen Billy Eichner twice here in WeHo, so I'm pretty sure he lives here.
Maybe he does live here.
Like he's super tall, so he's like 6'2", 6'12", so you can't like miss him. No, but like
he has to have some like a house out here, because I've seen him get into an Uber here in WeHo. Like that was like before COVID, but he has to.
Yeah, maybe not a house, maybe like in an apartment.
There's a studio here.
Y'all are a shady bunch this season. I love it.
All right, so let's get to the runway, our sheer runway. I don't know. I'll give my tops and bottoms for who I thought, and then we'll go around the room. I think one of my favorite, if Tamisha Iman, come on, like that gown was ridiculous. I
literally wrote fucking gorgeous. It is like probably one of the best things I've ever seen on Drag Race. She is like, it looked good on her. It was a fucking stunning dress. And then she made it herself. What the fuck?
Yeah. I have to say, okay, now this dress was stunning on her. Now, I think that would have really executed this is if this would have been like, I see this dress as the challenge that's coming up later on in the season, the mother-daughter challenge, the siblings challenge. Yeah. If she would have worn that and gave the same girl the other silhouette on the other side with maybe like a cocktail dress, like mother-daughter, like absolutely, yes. So I think that there should be more pieces to this dress. Like I want to see a whole collection of this dress, absolutely. But I think that like, even if she were on the first episode, on the last episode, on the finale, on the twin challenge, on the siblings challenge, it would have rocked it. So period. She knew to pull out her big guns for this one.
Well, I want to see her big guns if she's bringing this out in episode 1. So
right.
I also, everybody went gaga over Kimura's, which I loved the dress. I just couldn't with that hair. I'm sorry. Just the love fest, which again was a love fest from the judges, and I don't know if it's because it's the premiere, they're doing like they do for the finale, and they just give everybody love. But I was just like, really? No one's gonna. I mean, they did say, what did Michelle say when she came out? Roots, yeah. So at least there was a comment made, but like nobody read her for that hair. I mean, I think look like costume-wise, they were the best. But
you know what makes me joyous? I know this is kind of terrible. They're probably going to read me after this episode, but it's okay.
No, nobody read Jayla. We love Jayla. Don't read
Yeah,
Jayla.
girl, they couldn't read me if they had the magnifying glass. No, I think it's funny that even if it's not happening there, but it's meant to be happening there, the voiceovers when they walk out, it's like that whole fiasco when they're walking on the runway. I love to hear them laughing at the girls as they're walking down the runway. Like, what would you feel because they have mics on, so you can't hear anything, and you just hear them like saying like little jokes like, oh, roots and blah, blah, blah. And then you just hear Ru buzzing out laughing at you. You're going to think something's wrong, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah. When Ross said that Kimura had the strongest earlobes in the business, I thought that was really funny.
I thought the one that I was dying was when Nicole Byer said Denali had anal beads in her hair, because I thought the same thing.
That's fun. Yeah, I remember now that you said that. I remember that. And then also back to Tamisha when Nicole was like, "I don't have any jokes. That's just stunning."
Yeah, that's it. Period.
Yeah. You guys, any tops or bottoms that you want to mention?
Love Utica.
Yeah.
Utica looked like art walk.
Yeah.
Like that's what I put. Just art walk, whatever that is. You know what I mean? She looks like art walk. Here for it. Tanisha gave me like an old school drag, and I hate that they're calling her like mom and blah, blah, blah. Like I get that that's going to be her thing on the show because of age, but like she's really killing these bitches. Like y'all better stop saying that. Like she's a contestant as well, so she's not just here just to rock people through the competition. She's still competing. So I think Tamisha definitely was a front runner, and I have to say I don't know. Like, I think that was it. Like, everybody else kind of fell in the meh category.
I will say one I didn't like as much as I love Rosé. I thought that outfit looked like a loofah meets a piñata. It was not cute to me. It was kind of messy.
I agree.
So it was just not for me. I did not like it.
Well, the chat definitely agrees with you. They're all saying Rosé is not it, love. So
that might be the worst thing ever worn on Drag Race, in my opinion.
Ooh. Wow.
Wait, Rosé's?
Yeah,
it was really bad. It was not.
I don't even know what was going through her head. Like, what made you think, let's put these huge, ridiculous cuffs on this already ridiculous outfit? Like,
she looks like that Pokemon, like this.
Yeah.
Ollie, help me out. What's the Pokemon?
Mr. Mime?
No, she has like the roses in her hand.
Oh, Roselia.
Yeah, that's what she looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go, Jackie.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay.
No, you.
The other one so I like Joey J's outfit, but I did agree with Michelle's critique where it's like, okay, I get that Chucky Chuck, our longtime fan, has backed me up on this in the chat, but I get that your thing is like to not wear a wig, but it kind of feels lazy to me. Like I do wish that at some point you have other queens like paying and getting styled for these wigs and like getting them glued on their heads and everything. And their wigs are very expensive and they're expensive to like tailor. And so I just hope that at some point in the season, like I get that that's your thing, but I do hope at one point in the season, maybe she'll do a couple of wig looks just because I want to know that this is a choice that you're making and not just laziness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. I agree because I love Joey.
We've had a few wigless queens that have came through the Drag Race doors. So they even made a good point about Angina not wearing a wig and X, Y, and Z. But I think like if Joey J would have like sprayed some color in it, added some like pieces, I love a good wig, honey. So add some pieces in the middle, make it fuller, make it swoop, add like a Dee Antwood, like how she wears like the choppy bang and like make it really mullety, like add some pieces, make it fun. If you're not going to wear a wig, at least like keep the side shaved and like do all that, but like give an effort. Like you can't go from boy hair to boy hair with a bobby pin and then go out there because it's not like, I get it's your drag. Same thing with Dusty with the dots. You know what I mean? Like at some point they're gonna get tired of it, and they're gonna get tired of it. So had Joey J would have been like, "Oh well, I didn't bring any wigs," that would have been it for him. But guess what? Joey J brought some wigs because she knew better. She knew better, so she's like, "I'm gonna try to do this and see if it works." But she didn't say, "This is my drag. I'm sticking to it," because she knows that that's not how this game works.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that she does have some wigs, maybe like 2 or 3 in her arsenal. But I also think it's about creating like silhouettes as well. Make sure you have a vast amount of different silhouettes to get into the to like further yourself in the competition. Like Angina, like Sasha, like queens that don't have like I think Sasha's worn a couple wigs on her original season, but I think it's about kind of creating different dynamics so you're not bored. Like I think they even mentioned like her runway, not the mini challenge, like there was the same silhouette, and I really thought she was the weakest for sure. Like I thought her first daytime one was really ugly, and I don't know. I'm a little fearful for her placement. I don't see Joey J going far because of this reoccurring thing with no wigs. But I respect her drag absolutely. It's just like you're on Drag Race, you know. So you have to kind of like up the ante and do different things that you wouldn't normally do if you want to make it at least far. But she keeps calling herself a filler queen, so I don't know if that's going to become like a real thing. We'll see. We will see, everyone.
I agree with all of that, Ollie, 1,000%. And here's the thing. I get it. A short wig, so much easier on you. When I discovered the pixie wigs and stuff and realized that they even looked good on me, I was like, why have I been wearing long wigs all my life? This is ridiculous. So go get short wigs. You know what I mean? Like you could go get short wigs and have them styled, or long wigs and cut them short and do fun, crazy things with them. I think what you're saying is true, Jayla. I think it's lazy. A lot of it is laziness. I do, you know? And didn't she say too, she doesn't perform as often either at like Kimura. So, you know, and I remember when I started doing drag, I was like, I'm only gonna have red nails and red lips ever, no matter what. That's all I'm gonna do. And then eventually you go, okay, well, that's not feasible. You know, and I think it is like a misconception, and people, you know, there's a difference between like, you know, like I've been trying to try new looks, but I still think that everything that I do is very Lorayne. You know, it's a different wig, but I think I still keep to my aesthetic and who I am and what I want to present. So you can do different things and look different, but still be you. And that's what I think is hard for people to kind of understand, you know, is mix it up, but still be you, you know? And I think you're right too, Ollie. I don't think she better wear a wig next week because I don't think she's got much time. Again, I felt like it was a love fest from the judges. I didn't really hear a lot of negative about anybody. Do you guys agree, disagree?
I was looking on Facebook, social media, Instagram, and the hashtag of the night was RuPaul's best friend race. So I'm guessing that everybody felt the same way. And I was trying to figure out, why is this trending? And I clicked on it and everybody was like, send those bitches home. So I was like, and even Silky said on her social media, this is a love fest. I auditioned for the wrong season. So I understand.
We'll see what happens next week, because I'm wondering if it's because it's the premiere and they're, again, like, you know, you were saying to Jacque, I think they're trying to get people more airtime and get these early eliminated queens more bookings and stuff. Like, I think that that's kind of where they're thinking, which is fine. And it's, again, you can't win because they're nice, we don't like it, they're mean and we don't like it. And so we're completely arguing the things that we bitch about. So Ollie, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Other than, like, of course we're all home, so I think we have more time for like maybe an extra episode. So it makes sense, but of course we want more drama. Like, it's reality TV, even if it's like, you know, not necessarily like authentic. But I will say that I just wanted to mention this. I thought it was really interesting that this crop of queens had a different runway rather than last week's. You know, so there was Shear and then there was LeMay. So I was wondering if they both were asked for LeMay's and Shear. So I'm just really, really curious about. Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see them.
If you look on social media, the girls that were on this episode were all posting their LeMay look.
Oh, were they?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure these girls are doing the same thing. They're going to show their looks and stuff.
That makes sense, because I saw some unfamiliar looks. I'm like, I don't remember that. So that makes sense. Okay.
I did have a little chit chat with Miss Heidi in Closet again. We did game night at my friend's again. And I asked her this specifically about what they're told to bring and what they're not. And she said, yes, even some of them, like the day and night stuff, they were probably given, you know, bring a lady in a vamp look and stuff like that. She said, like, and we've discussed this too, a lot of times for the Maxi challenges, they'll, like when they were all paired, when Heidi and them had like their groups and they wanted them all to look the same, a lot of those were given to them by the producers to wear. So sometimes they're provided with stuff as well. So just a little fun fact. All right, and I'm just gonna take a moment real quick. When you guys get a chance, please go give us 5 stars and reviews on our new iTunes, because we're on iTunes, but now as Drag Race TV LA, not as Afterbuzz. So if you've done it before, please go do it again, because we would love it. We'd love to have you guys do that for us and help us grow this channel. Like and share our videos. If you guys do like us, share us. Get people watching us, bring more people into this fun little world that we live in every Sunday at 3 o'clock. Ding. I need to get like a little chime. It's a ding.
Or cowbell.
Cowbell. Was that a fat joke? Thanks, Jayla.
Well, now that you mentioned it.
All right. And yet again, there was not a bottom 2 this week. It was a top 2, which it seemed like this group seemed to know it was going to be a top 2. They didn't seem to be as distraught as Candy was last week. The lip sync song was If You Seek a Me by Britney Spears, and Denali and Rosé were our top 2. What did you guys think? It was deserving top 2? Do you think Denali deserved to win? We'll start with you, Ollie, because I know you like Denali.
She's actually not one of my favorites, but she really did amazing this episode. Like, she's not one of my personal favorites, but I have to give it to her. Like, I have to give credit when credit is due. Like, she killed. I had kind of forgot her performance, no lie, in like the performance, the first one. Just because she went first, and I feel like sometimes if you go first, it's a good thing. I think you talked about this last week, Lorayne. Like, it's good to go first, but also you have like 5 other people to go. So I kind of remember those, but not to discredit her performance. Anyway, I think she killed that lip sync. I also loved her lavender look. I saw like she did like a little homage to America's Next Top Model, one of the best shows ever. I love the Top Model. With her, like, you know how they post her looks on social media. So I'm like, okay, Denali, I didn't forget about you. She's one to watch for sure, because even though she's in the pork chop group, she definitely, to me, was overall the strongest of the week to me out of this crop of queens. Not one of my favorites even. Like, I love Utica. Tamisha is like so freaking lovable, but Denali killed it this week.
Yeah. Jackie?
I thought it was a good lip sync. I thought Denali and Rosé did deserve to be in the top, and I liked the lip sync. And I did think Denali won the lip sync, but I thought it was just overall a really good lip sync. It wasn't like Denali won because Rosé sucked. It was like Denali won because I felt like she was giving a little bit more into the song. You know, Jayla's talked about this before, where it just seems more appropriate to the song what she was doing.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, now, I can't even say it. If You Seek Amy is one of my all-time favorite songs. So they've been starting this episode off really, really gay. You got Rumors, you got If You Seek Amy. The white gays are living, honey. They love it.
Oh my God.
So I am just like, okay. Was the lip sync real? Okay, did we watch the same thing? Because I don't think, like, I guess I was just so blinded that Tamisha was safe that I was like, the rest of the episode like this.
Yeah.
So I don't think I actually watched it. I was enraged that Tamisha got all this airtime and she was the Tandy Iman and Rue got that message and you're safe. So
yeah. I said when Tamisha came out, her lyrics, her energy was just leaps and bounds above everybody else. So I agree with you. I kind of expected Rosé, but I thought the other spot would be Tamisha for sure. So.
I wonder though if like Dick in the Soup wise, they're setting up this narrative where she's like the drag mom, you know. So
Yeah.
they're probably gonna do that, milk that for a couple episodes, and then give her some big win several episodes in, being like, yay, you're the drag mom. And maybe the win won't even make sense to us because we're like, well, she should have won in this episode or this episode. You know,
Right.
I feel like they do that because they're trying to do some sort of narrative.
Or they're setting us up for a heartbreaking elimination.
Right.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I really like her there giving commentary, and I like her, you know, dynamics with the other queens. And I feel like, you know, she is teaching the other queens a lot of things. Even if, you know, just having that much experience, you're bound to teach somebody something. So
so that was kind of the runways and the Maxi mini challenges. Let's get into some of like the mirror moments and odds and ends and things that kind of happened that came up throughout the episode. I guess first being, I think was one of the big things that everybody at least on the show, whether it's a big thing in real life, I don't know that it is, but that Tamisha has 3 biological children that are older than most of the people competing on the show. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it was a big subject of discussion, along with the fact that, and I thought we discussed this in another episode, correct me if I'm wrong, that her daughter, Tandy Iman Dupree, was the one who does the Wonder Woman drop splits from the ceiling. Did we discuss that in another episode?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think we actually discussed it in our private group chat. So
oh, okay. I know I get reality and this mixed up. So that was brought up and discussed on the episode, and they all got to talk about it. Did you guys have anything about that you wanted to chime in on?
I want to say, like, finally we are like merging like drag. Okay, first off, Tandy Iman Dupree was viral before viral was viral. Okay, motherfuckers was out here buying the pageant tape for $10-15 and replaying that, and then somebody finally decided to say, hey, we could put this on the internet called YouTube. And I've been able, and I'm so glad that like people are able to be like, oh yeah, that's sickening. So I think that I'm glad we're merging, like, you know, drag history together, you know what I mean? Like, and being able to showcase this. So I'm happy that Tamisha was able to, you know, bring this up and give history behind the person that we see, you know what I mean, just dropping to the floor in a split. Like, you know, there's a person behind it. There was a person that people loved and adored way before that moment. So I was glad that Tamisha was able to share a little bit about Tandy Iman as a person rather than that one viral clip. So I thought it was great.
I loved her on Tamisha on the stage when she told Ru she would have been one of your girls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she probably would have been running the show. Let's be real. Sorry, Ru, but I think that was such a beautiful moment for me, looking back on that. I don't know if that was shown in Untucked or if it was on the actual episode, but I thought that was a really beautiful moment for Tamisha to really celebrate her daughter.
Yeah. The other thing we found out in the episode, which I guess I could kind of relate to, was Kimora's boyfriend does not approve of her doing drag, so she keeps it tucked away and hidden and sneaks in, and not sneaks in, but kind of just goes and does it somewhere else and then comes home and to be with him and stuff. Did it change anyone's opinion of Kimora or comments? Jayla's got her hand up.
This happens a lot in LGBT couples. There's something in the, like, I don't know. I know a lot of talented queens who are held back because of the guarding boyfriend, and they're afraid to be alone, or they're afraid to feel like somebody won't accept them, so they have to kind of tuck away something that they really want to do. And shame on you for wanting to be with somebody that doesn't accept you for who you are. That means there's something in you that you haven't fully accepted. There is no way in hell somebody's gonna tell me, you know, I don't like for you to do this or this, that, and the third, because my thing is, and then you turn around and say you love me. There's no way you can love all of me, and Kimora Hall is all of me. You know what I mean? Like, is this not somebody I put in a garage? And you know what I mean? If I hear a good song on the radio, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna lip sync. I'm gonna, you know, give him, and that's just something I naturally do. You can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be with somebody that's gonna do that to me. Let that man go, girl. And the thing is, that also shows in the personality. It shows in the way you treat other people. It shows in the way you see yourself. It shows the way you see your relationship. So my thing is, like, anybody who makes you feel that way, that you're not like, because it also boils down to the masculinity thing. It's the whole mask for mask. Oh, he wears makeup. I don't like that shit. And it's just like, at the end of the day, RuPaul saying, if you can't love yourself, how in that? He says it every episode for 13 goddamn years. And if you haven't heard that and you haven't applied it to yourself by now, and you come on a show and you say some bullshit like that, goodbye. I keep telling you, goodbye. You're not here for the right reasons. You're not here to be America's Next Drag Superstar. You're holding up our production. You don't accept who you fully are. You got a boyfriend that don't want you to do drag. You don't know you do drag, but you're on a drag show. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. We don't need it. We don't need it. It's 13 seasons, and we don't want to. This isn't drag you. We're not grooming drag queens. We want the best of the best, and the best of the best aren't the people to say, well, I only do it for 2 months, and my boyfriend doesn't like me. I don't like you either. Bye. And that's it. That's just it. You can't go to American Idol and go, I got a cold. I'm shy, but I'm gonna sing tomorrow. Simon's gonna say goodbye. Goodbye. You're wasting everybody's time. Yeah.
But you know, those producers was like, "Ooh, that's perfect for television." So that's but I totally understand where you're coming from. But I will say it was very interesting when Kimora was talking about the mirror moment. She has no eyebrows, and then someone in the chat pointed this out that I noticed. And then in another moment, she has eyebrows. So I'm like, that was very interesting. I wonder what that's.
No, you know they chopped that up.
Right. So I'm like, I just thinking like production standpoint of how they structure that. But anyway,
it could have been a longer conversation, and in the conversation she applied her eyebrows. So by the time it got to that point when she said it, she had drawn them on, because I'm sure it was a hour conversation or something on set. You know? But
we also experienced this with Cameron Michaels as well. Like, Cameron Michaels said on their season, like, oh, well, I used to do drag, but my boyfriend wouldn't let me do drag. Let you? Bitch, what you mean? So, like, y'all got to stop trying to be, like, wanted by these people that don't give a damn about you. Like, y'all got to learn how to live for you, because you only get one life, and you can't sit here and watch Drag Race and sing the songs and be a glamazon and not feel empowered. There's no way in hell somebody's going to tell me what I should shrink and belittle myself for the sake of their comfortability. That's why I'm here. The visibility is all about it. The charisma, the uniqueness, nerve, and talent that we're looking for is not in some boyfriend. It's not in the person that's making you hide away. So I don't need it. And my thing is, had it not would have been for a safety, your ass would have been gone. Don't say you have all these things, and when somebody asks you, why are you America's Next Drag Superstar? Then you go, look at me. That's not an answer.
No.
But then you go and say, oh, my boyfriend doesn't like I do drag. Nobody knows I do drag. But you're on a drag show where everybody's going to see it. Bye. I guess you're single now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now on iTunes.
Also, we found out the reason why people switched their votes from Utica to Elliott with 2 T's in the Pork Chop Lounge. It was because during the time they were sitting there, Kimora's nail pops off, and Utica jumps up and goes and picks it up and gives it to her. And they all saw that little moment as, oh, I can't vote her out now because she was so kind and da-da-da. And I think it does, you know, like people always say, you know, oh, I should have spoke up more. I should have done this more. Sometimes it's not even that. It's just showing who you are and, you know, why you deserve to be there and stuff like it's, I think sometimes people overanalyze a lot of it. And I think if, you know, Elliott came in, I mean, again, I'm not saying Elliott did anything wrong. I think they completely just based it on her look. But I thought it was interesting that we found that out because it was something we were all wondering what had happened, you know.
I do
But
think
no one told her to put her wig down.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, that's what somebody said. Somebody commented on it on Facebook or something, and they said all this love for Utica, but then nobody told her to pull her wig forward.
So sad.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe they did. That was driving me crazy. I was like, really? None of you guys could tell her to pull her wig forward? Another thing that was met, speaking of Utica, she mentioned that she is a Seventh-day Adventist, which I had to Google. And it basically is, it's very similar to Christianity. So she's a Christian, but she's very religious. So we found that out. I don't know that that's gonna come up again later, or we'll have a storyline and stuff like that, but just a little fun fact for you. Those that rely on us for their Drag Race information, I'm just gonna give it to you. And then there was also a little bit of discussion in the Untucked about taping during quarantine. I mean, they're all kind of quarantined anyway when they do the show, so I don't know how much more of an extent, other than wearing face shields and stuff like that around set and stuff like that. I don't know. But there was the other thing that I didn't think of either was that they were called during quarantine. So buying things, having things made were probably more difficult. I don't think it's an excuse because you know me, I'm all about then use what you have and make it do like they did in the earlier seasons. So it was discussed. Did anybody have any thoughts on that?
I like that they're addressing it, you know, because otherwise you get these shots of, I mean, it seems like a normal episode to us watching it, but
Right.
then you get these shots of the crew wearing the face shields and the masks and everything. So it would be weird to me if they didn't, you know, mention it every once in a while. So I do like that there's, it shouldn't be the whole episode, but I do like that they're addressing it in a way that as a viewer, you're not like, well, how is this making you feel? You know? So I appreciated that.
All right, we are almost done. We're just gonna do some fun little things here. I'm gonna do my quote of the week. Jacque is gonna give you some fan of the week, and then I have some news and gossip. So we're just gonna wrap this up real quick. My quote of the, and if you guys have anything that you wanna ask, throw it in the chat room now. We'll see if there's any questions that we can answer when we're done with this part and see if there's anything that we need to discuss that you want answers for. So do that now while we're doing this. My quote of the week, before I say my quote of the week, I'm just gonna say, thank God for the Iman family, because I think Tamisha and Lala Ree are going to be giving me my quotes of the week all season. So hopefully they both make it to the final so that I never have to scrounge for a quote of the week. That being said, my quote of the week goes to Tamisha Iman. When she said, hold on, let me read this. I'm in daycare and the children is excited. I don't know who gave them this candy.
I did like that.
That was when they were on stage during the rehearsal and she was kind of standing back.
We're all wilding and shit.
Everybody going crazy and stuff. So Jacque, go ahead. Tell us who our fans of the week are.
Fans of the week are Prince and Porto, who's in the chat room right now.
Yay.
And yay! And then capital HIM, who commented on our YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone who has been joining us in the chat room. If you join us in the chat, you could get a cool shout out. And please keep commenting on YouTube or iTunes because you could also become fan of the week that way as well.
Yay. Some news and gossip. Just a reminder, Drag Race UK premiered this week. Maybe we could discuss a little bit. Has everybody seen it?
I have not seen it.
I have not seen it. I have to renew my WoW Presents. If anybody wants to give me their password, I go on. But
we can talk later, girl. We can talk later, girl.
I did watch the first episode. You know, I think I was spoiled on season 1. There were so many of them that I loved. It just gave me such love vibes and everything. I think some of them are going to have to grow on me. I do have a favorite right away. Lawrence Chaney is just everything I ever want to be in life. So she is 1000%. I am team Lawrence Chaney. So I'll just say that since I'm really, I don't know, Ollie, you saw it?
I love Taste. But shout out to the UK. Like, we have a lot of UK listeners, and like my heart goes out to them because they're fucking. Oh, I curse.
Yeah,
I'm not used to cursing. They're like in quarantine, so like I think they're just like loving it. They like love the UK, and I know it's like, you know, it's on Wow Plus, and we're doing 2 seasons at once, which really is frustrating to me as well. But also, there's other people that are just like, they need it. They need that kind of like comfort of Drag Race and just this artistry that, you know, when they're stuck inside with no one to talk to, like my heart really goes out to people across the world who are really like in tough times right now. So, you know, in a sense, I get why it's premiering. Yeah, but anyways, it's really good so far, and there's 12 queens, so it's even more than the 10 that we got last season. But yeah, I agree, Lorayne. Last season with a smaller number of queens, it was so much easier to just like fall in love with the cast, and they were just so like close, and I'm really excited.
I just felt like there was a lot of ones that kind of annoyed me, just for different little things. So I might, again, I just need to warm up to some of them. But I'm excited. I'm excited that it's there and happy to be watching it again. Bummed that it's at the same time, so we can't continue our love fest here. Also, I sent it to you guys, the video, and I tried to find it online to put a link. If I do find the link, I'll add it to the description on YouTube. But if you has anyone seen, well, I know you guys did because I sent it to you. Heidi in Closet did a L'Oreal commercial. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's actually really cute. She was very proud of it.
She should be. She should be. It was really cute.
I love it.
Great.
She said there's another one. I think she said that, but I could be wrong. Also, last Saturday, Jinx Monsoon tied the knot with her boyfriend. So they had an intimate, private ceremony, and there's some pictures on, well, I saw the ones, I don't know if Jinx posted them or if it was the husband that posted them, but there's stuff out there, so look on.
Jinx has them on her site. I follow Jinx on on Jinx's Instagram. So
yeah, so
congratulations.
Hey, congratulations to Jinx. Coming from a divorcee. And was there anything in the chat? Oh, is this a question? Is Carson Kressley not judging the season? Has he not been on yet?
I think he's like all-stars, right?
I'm not sure. Maybe he will. I don't know if they're limiting it because they taped during COVID. I don't know if they did something like that. That's a good question.
Decline.
I haven't heard anything about it not happening, but
we'll see. But next week we do have Loni Love coming to host. For all the people that don't know who she is a hilarious comedian, and she is the host of The Real. So I'm excited to see her on this. She did really good on Celebrity Drag Race, so they might just make her wash off the makeup and come on down and do the next one.
So now that we've met everyone, do you want to predict who we think will go home first next week?
I'm staying out of that one.
Anybody dare to?
I'll dare. I think it'll be Kimora.
Okay.
I do. And that's because, like, to me, out of all of the performances, when you're counting last week and this week, she did seem to be the most hesitant.
Yeah.
And I feel like because Candy was the most hesitant in the last group, the one who kind of got confused with the choreography, but when you watched Untucked, she seemed to have like lit a fire under herself to be like, this is not going to happen to me again. You know, she's getting really emotional. Kimora, I don't know if that what's happening with her boyfriend, you know, and the fact that she feels like she doesn't do drag that often. I mean, she said that she doesn't perform that often, and I don't know if that's like affecting her psyche or whatever. I feel like she might be the first to go home because of what's going on with her.
Ollie, did you want to throw your hat in?
I can see that happening for sure. They already set up they planted the seeds, as I always say. Or Joey J. That would be my prediction if I had to say. Just because the whole wig thing. So there's another seed they're planting. So those are like the early outs in my opinion thus far.
I think you're
We'll
both.
see.
I think that sounds. I would probably agree with both of you on that.
I agree.
I will make one prediction that is not about an elimination. I am going to predict that Tamisha Iman will be making a RuPaul gown very soon.
Oh, yeah. I speak that in existence for sure.
Because if you
Definitely.
when she said how much she liked it, she goes, "Did you make that?" And my first thought was, she was looking for someone else to make her gown. Not that she doesn't like, I forget his name.
Zaldi.
What is it?
Zaldi.
Zaldi, yes. Not that she doesn't love him, but I think maybe it's like, oh, maybe we should mix it up a little bit. So Tamisha, I would, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd put my money on a phone call from Ru to make a gown. But that's it. That is everything I got. Jayla, you did say you wanted to change. Now, this is who you had referenced. I kept the notes of who everybody referenced, who they liked, who were their standouts.
Okay.
Your standouts were Gottmik, Lala Ree, and Simone, but you said you might want to change that.
Can I switch? Nope, I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Just wanted to give you that opportunity if you wanted to. Something I jotted down as you were talking, Jackie, I do believe it was. And I don't know how far you got into season 1. Did you watch all of season 1? No, okay. Because I did rewatch the whole thing. And there was something that you mentioned that made me think, I wish they did this more. They did a montage, I think in the first episode, of drag queens in history. Like people, like drag queen, like who was in it? Lady Bunny and, oh my God, now I'm gonna draw a blank on everybody that they showed, because they showed a ton. And like Hollywood Lawn, people like that. Coco Peru, I think they showed, Jackie Beat. But there were a ton, some that I had never even heard of. I really hope, and I've said this before, I wish they used Drag Race more for the community and for history, and, you know, just to kind of educate people too, along with the fun and the drama and the fashion and all that stuff. I wish some of these people were judges. I would, or, you know, or they came on, or they did challenges inspired by, you know, that kind of stuff. I wish they would do more of that kind of stuff. So I had jotted that down. I just wanted to mention that. So anybody else have any final thoughts as we depart?
Coco Peru's guest judge. Why hasn't that happened? She lives in LA.
Right, that's true. That's true.
But I love that you brought that up. That's really important.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because they don't want, they want Ru to be the only judge in drag. Have we ever had another judge in drag?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be it too. All right, let's go around. Tell everybody where you can find everybody on the social medias when you're not here pajama partying yet.
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram right here. Am I pointing at the right thing?
Other side. Side.
Right here. You can follow me at Who is Jayla Roxx. That's 2 X's 3 if you nasty.
Jackie?
Oh, you can find me at 123 Jackie B on all platforms.
Ollie?
All.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And you can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Lorayne Love. That's LORAYNE LOVE. Or the Mark J. Freeman. You can follow either, both, neither, whatever you prefer. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow DRTV LA on all social media, so you know when we're coming at you with some stuff and some recaps and all that good stuff. I don't know why I got all like that.